Hi, I'm Callie Ma, an academic support counselor at ABAC, and want to share with you some information about the finals stretch before we get into finals week. And so there are several things to be aware of. So, first, no final exam dates. Know what to expect. Prepare for final exams. Use study strategies. Use memory strategies. Create a good study and test taking environment and take the exam well prepared. So, let's start by looking at final exam dates for spring 2020. So they start Thursday, April 30th, and they go through Tuesday, May 5th. Reading day is Wednesday, April 29th, and then final grades will be available Thursday, May 7th. Know what to expect on your final. What counts as your final? Is it a test? Is it a project or a paper? What information will your final exam cover? Will it be comprehensive or will it just be over the last information that you covered in class? In what format will your exam be given? Will it be multiple choice, true, false, short answer, essay? Will your exam be timed? When is your exam due? Or is there a specific time you need to get on to take the exam? If you don't know the answers to these questions yet, now is the time to ask your instructors. Prepare for the exam first by writing down when all of your finals are due or when they're taking place. And then also write down the steps you need to take or the things you need to study to prepare for those finals. Prepare for online exams the same way you would if they were given in person. So things are a little bit different with distance learning, but you still need to study for those exams. If you think you can just use your notes or use the textbook, then it takes a long time to look through all of that information. You still need that information here so that you can take the test with confidence and in a timely manner. You can also start scheduling tutoring sessions online to prepare for that test, to ask questions, to understand concepts. There's a link there. You can also schedule a tutoring session by going to the ABAC website, and the information is under academic support. Different study strategies for preparing for your finals include studying for the exam in a similar way in which you will take the exam. And so if you know that you will have short answer, for example, then ask yourself a question and then try to answer it in detail, giving a description, not just one word answers, but try to ask yourself different things that pull that information out of you so that you can prepare for that exam in the appropriate way. Also, it's great to break up all of the information you have into smaller chunks. That makes it less overwhelming for one, because you can then study one chunk at a time and focus on one area at a time. So for example, if your test is over 4 different chapters, break it up into 4 different chunks and then study that way. And use multiple days to study. You can start studying now as finals are coming up soon. And so don't just cram and wait until the last minute, but study over multiple days. See how much time you have today to study. Even if it's only 30 minutes today, start studying for those exams now. And spend time preparing your information and then also reviewing your information. So to prepare your information, you can create flashcards, make your own study guide, organize and summarize your class notes, take notes on reading material, predict questions and their answers, and then you can review the information by reviewing those flashcards you made, reviewing and filling in the study guide you created, reciting ideas and information from your notes without looking, or try to rewrite your notes. You can also quiz yourself on the predicted questions. You can explain concepts to another person, maybe in your household or even connecting with a classmate through video chat, and you can study together and explain those concepts together. And you can also re-watch recorded lectures if your instructors have those available for you. There are some memory strategies you can use too, because it's helpful not just to read over our notes, because our brains will forget, and that's not the way it's going to be set up on the test. And so you want to elaborate and explain concepts, be able to go into detail over what you wrote down in your notes or heard in the lecture. And then you can use memory aids, otherwise known as mnemonic devices. And so one big memory aid you can use are acronyms. So we all know Roy G. Biv. You can make up acronyms for different things that you're studying too, especially if you have a list of things you need to remember. Also, if you want to draw or think of an image in your mind of something that's associated with words or concepts that you're studying, that can really help you remember. The weirder something is, or the stranger something is, the more your brain remembers those things. Also, if you get a new concept, associate that with something you already know, because you already know that. And so just fitting something into that structure really can help you understand it and remember it. Create a good study and test-taking environment. You want to study in a similar context to where you will take the test. And it's actually possible now to study in the same place where you will take the test. And so you want to have similar lighting. You want to have the same sounds around you, same smells and sights. This actually helps your brain associate that information that you studied in that context. It can pull that out then when you're taking the test. The space should also be conducive to test taking, meaning that there are no distractions, it's quiet, you leave your phone off, leave it out of the room. That could be so distracting if you're trying to focus on a test and then you get a notification of some kind. And so leave that out of the room, make sure you have good lighting, and make sure you have all the materials you need with you before you start the test. Then when you're ready to take the exam, make sure you get enough sleep. Sleep is the most helpful for our brain, so it's really important that you sleep well before you take a test. Also, eat well. Don't go into a test hungry. That would be very distracting. Maintain good health and approach the exam with confidence and positive self-talk. If you start to get anxious or stressed during the exam, pause and take deep breaths. That really helps calm you down and allows your brain to focus not on the emotions you're feeling, but to focus on the content. So also preview the whole test, all parts of the test before starting. Just, you have that expectation already, you know what to expect on the test, but this can help you also just see the whole picture. As soon as you get that, read all directions on the test and answer all the questions. You can do the easy questions first, and then if there are difficult ones, you can go back and do those at the end. You got this. We're rooting for you. You can contact academic support for questions or more resources at asc@abac.edu.